To all the men out there, whether you're gay, straight, bi, or questioning, I have a question for you. Do you ever feel a little lost, like you might not be on the right path for your life? Feeling lost doesn't have to look like you're falling apart. For many men, it looks like functioning, actually. Working, achieving, staying responsible, taking care of the people in your life. Looking successful from the outside, but quietly wondering, why does the life I've built no longer feel like me? I recently talked with a friend who looks really successful on the outside. A few sporty cars, a good job, a great house, all the visible signs that life is going well for him. But he told me this weekend that he wonders how he got to where he is, like he's not happy with where he is, and that it might be time to get his life in order. So underneath the success, the material success at least, there's a quiet dissatisfaction. Maybe you know the same feeling. The restlessness, the relationship that you cannot stop thinking about, the dream you keep dismissing, the sense that something needs to change even though you can't put a finger on what. Maybe those feelings, those desires, those patterns aren't distractions. Maybe they're clues. And that is where I would begin as a therapist and coach. I wouldn't begin with advice right away or clarifying their goals, not even with a 5-year plan. I would simply listen and ask the question, what has your life been trying to tell you? Hello, I'm Dr. Dave, and welcome to the Good Life Lab. As I said, I'm a therapist and credentialed coach and college professor turned YouTuber and content creator. And this is the Good Life Lab, where I try to provide some life experience and some research and case studies to help you, primarily men, but anybody's welcome. But I work with men on the full spectrum of orientation, so gay, straight, bi, and somewhere in between. I happen to be gay, so welcome here. I'm in the midst of this 12-week series I'm calling the Compass Quest Challenge to help you walk through kind of this framework that I use called Compass. And I'm going to highlight how I do this with Ilya and Shane, since that's been a part of my channel recently, the fictional Heated Rivalry characters, but also real men I've been working with who agreed to come on this channel, be recorded, to help them navigate identity, direction, and just meaning in life. This is the first official episode in this 12-week Compass Quest Challenge. So Compass is a framework I developed through research, through personal experimentation, and then also working with my clients as a coach and a counselor. And so this is the kind of the culmination of my life's work, essentially. And it functions much like a GPS would. So several coordinating points to help you identify where you are, but also where you want to go. So we begin with C, which stands for clues and coordinating points. Years ago, during a kind of a season of severe disorientation in my life, I was trying to navigate not only resigning from a job that I loved, but then also figuring out my orientation, my identity, having a really difficult time because of my faith, accepting who I was. This is my early 40s. And so I was sitting across the table from a friend of mine at Panera Bread, and he just asked me this question: where are the breadcrumbs in life leading you? And I remember at the time, I don't remember what I said to him, but it struck me. The question stuck with me. And so it's been, I think, 2 decades now since that conversation, and it still sticks with me. It reminded me of a book I came across called Let Your Life Speak, and the idea that our lives may already be communicating with us if we just learn how to listen. Because our lives do leave breadcrumbs, they leave clues. Some of those clues, like messages, are internal, so recurring emotions, desires, gut reactions, a sense of aliveness when you imagine one path, and heaviness when you imagine another. Other clues can be external, the conversation you keep replaying that you keep having with somebody, a person who reflects something important back to you, an opportunity or relationship pattern that keeps showing up. These clues do not need to be mystical, although they could be, depending on your worldview. They really could just be information. Patterns are data. Desires are data. Strong reactions that you have to something are data. The problem is that many men become experts at filtering out those clues. We dismiss desire as unrealistic. We call intuition irrational. Treat restlessness as something to suppress. But what repeats in our lives deserves attention. So I've called this series, What If Ilya and Shane Were My Clients? Because I've been spending the time reviewing the Heated Rivalry series. So with them as an example, if they're sitting in my office, I might ask Ilya, what keeps showing up beneath the competition and the chase? Perhaps he says, I don't like sitting still without some sort of distraction. Hockey, video games, sex, my phone. Maybe staying busy, like for most of us, watching YouTube, flipping through Instagram, whatever our preferred distraction. Maybe staying busy protects Ilya from whatever might surface in the silence. Then I might ask Shane what appears for him in the silence. Perhaps for him, underneath years of vigilance and control, he recognizes a deep desire for intimacy and closeness with men, with Ilya. And so this is where it becomes very real for me, actually. I had desires to be with men for decades that I suppressed, I denied because of my faith. And so this is very real in my case as well. And one good reason why I ask men to not dismiss their desires before asking what they might be trying to tell you, what they might be trying to reveal. These clues that might be coming up are not diagnoses or final answers. They point us toward deeper questions. Who am I beneath the performance? Where do I belong? What do I actually want? What might my life look like beyond achievement, control, or other people's expectations of what a man should be? The C in Compass also stands for coordinating points, so clues and coordinating points. Like a GPS on your phone, Compass uses several coordinates: your story, strengths, values, and what makes you come alive, to name a few. These are coordinating points to help you locate yourself and choose a direction that is genuinely yours. So your first exercise in this 12-week challenge, I'm trying to give you some very practical application steps here. For the next 7 days, spend a few minutes asking these questions. What drew my attention today? What felt alive or energizing? What emotion felt unusually strong? And what keeps appearing in my life? So what patterns, what themes keep appearing? At the end of the week, review your answers and reflect on this question. What are my responses pointing me towards? You should notice some common themes in those questions or responses that you have. What are those things pointing you toward? It's not about this means I need to change my whole life. It's not about this proves I made the wrong choices. Just this might be pointing me toward what? So clues are not commands. They are invitations to just listen to your life. For even more detail on the Compass Quest challenge, I've actually written a book to go along with this series called the Compass Quest Field Guide. Check out the QR code here for more information on that. I've provided the first chapter free for download to give you an idea of what the entire Compass Quest Field Guide looks like. So go to my website here, check it out, and follow along. Go into depth for yourself. Maybe even ask a couple friends to join with you. This process is much more enjoyable and more effective if you can do it with other people. So ask a couple friends to join you in this process. The goal is, again, to walk you through this Compass process to help you navigate direction in life, to navigate relationship issues maybe, to help you discover what's next in your life. And it takes you through identifying your strengths, your values, core anchors that you have, your origin story, and begin to shape those things that you are learning into a specific 6-month to year-long project to help you discover, experiment, plan the next season of your life. So that's the ultimate goal, is to develop a project that you can apply specifically in your life to deal with whatever you want to deal with. And if you wouldn't mind, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe. It really helps me keep going, motivated, inspired to provide more information like this. All right, just remember, as we close here, before you decide where you are going, be curious about what is already showing up in your life. The internal desires, dreams, emotions, and reactions, the external circumstances, relationships, and repeated patterns. You don't have to rush to act, just pay attention. That's a skill in itself, paying attention to your life. Just listen to your life. All right, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.